All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're exploring a pretty powerful idea. The idea that every single person has a hidden key. A vulnerability that basically dictates their every move. We're going to break down the blueprint for finding that key and really understanding what makes the people around you tick.
You know that feeling, right? You're in a meeting, maybe at a party, or heck, even with your own family, and you just get the sense that you're missing something. Like there's a secret language that everyone else seems to get. You're trying to connect, trying to persuade, but you're really just guessing.
But what if you didn't have to guess? See, the most influential people out there, they don't rely on luck. They have a system. They figured out how to decode the hidden motivations that drive all of us. This is about making a shift from just assuming to actually analyzing.
And that brings us to the core of what we're talking about today, finding what some call the thumbscrew. Now that sounds intense, I know, but think of it like a master key, the one piece of information that unlocks everything else about a person.
To really get how powerful this is, just look at a guy like J. Edgar Hoover. As the director of the FBI, he was arguably one of the most powerful men in America for almost 50 years. Presidents came and went, but Hoover stayed.
So, you have to ask yourself how. Was it just his job title, his position at the top of this massive government agency? Well, no, not really. His real power, the kind that made him untouchable, came from something else entirely. Something he collected with incredible detail.
Hoover's true power? It came from his secret files. He was obsessed with documenting the hidden vices, the past mistakes, the deep, dark secrets of anyone and everyone powerful. That knowledge, their thumbscrew, that was his leverage. You didn't dare cross him because he knew exactly where you were most vulnerable.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, great, but I don't run the FBI, and you don't have to. You don't need a massive intelligence agency to start decoding the people in your own life. You just need to know what you're looking for. So let's get into the toolkit. We've got 3 key strategies to get you started.
First, we're going to learn how to read all those little signals people are constantly giving off without even knowing it. Second, we'll cover a pretty clever technique to get people to open up to you. And third, we're diving into the most powerful key of them all, figuring out their core emotional needs. Sigmund Freud said it perfectly. He wrote, "No mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips." And that just nails our first point, doesn't it? People are constantly, and I mean constantly, leaking information about who they really are. Your job is just to learn how to read it. So, where do you start? Pay attention to the tiny details that reveal everything. How someone treats a waiter isn't just about being polite, it's a huge window into how they see power. The way they dress, the things they collect, what they obsess over. These aren't just random quirks. Think of them as breadcrumbs, leading you straight to their deepest values, their fears, and what they secretly want most.
All right, now for a more direct tactic. This one's a little bit of psychological judo. If you want someone to tell you something important, you go first. But, and this is key, you don't share a real secret, you share a calculated, harmless secret. This kicks in a really powerful human instinct to reciprocate. To match your supposed honesty, they will often tell you something far more real, far more useful. And that brings us to the deepest, most powerful tactic of all, finding the helpless child. The core idea here is that so many of our adult weaknesses and cravings are just rooted in some emotional need that wasn't met when we were kids. As you can see, someone who felt unloved might grow up to need constant validation. A kid who was spoiled rotten might become an adult who's always chasing novelty and excitement just to feel something. Once you identify that core childhood void, you understand what truly drives them.
But what about those people who seem to have no weaknesses at all? You know the type. They're like a fortress, totally buttoned up, completely in control. For them, you need to bring out a more advanced technique. You have to analyze their contradictions.
Here's the secret with these people. What you see is often a mask. It's a persona that is the exact opposite of who they really are inside. It's a classic case of overcompensation. That really loud, aggressive display of confidence, it might just be there to hide a massive insecurity. Your job is to see right through the performance. So how do you find that crack in their armor? Look for the behaviors that are just a little too much. Is the most aggressive person in the room actually the most insecure? Does that super timid, quiet person secretly wish for a life of adventure? And hey, if you really can't get through to them, find the weak link. Gaining the trust of the person they trust most, their spouse, their right-hand person, can be a very clever,
indirect path to understanding and influence.
Now, before we wrap this up, there is a huge, crucial warning we have to talk about. This knowledge is powerful, and that means it's a high-stakes game. And with great power comes great risk.
Let me be blunt. If you push too hard on someone's deepest insecurities, you are playing with fire. You could trigger a totally unpredictable reaction. They might lash out, they might become paranoid, or they might turn all that fear and anger directly back at you. Once someone feels like you're pulling their strings, they will do anything to cut them. This can and will backfire.
So let's be really clear here. The ultimate goal of all this isn't to be a crude manipulator. It's about developing such a deep understanding of human nature that your influence becomes effortless, because you're actually speaking to a person's real core needs. It's about understanding them, not just using them for leverage.
So the next time you walk into a room, don't just hear the words people are saying, listen to what they aren't saying. Pay attention to the gestures, the little habits. Ask yourself, what's the hidden need here? What's the childhood void they're still trying to fill? The world around you is speaking a second hidden language. The only question left is, are you ready to start listening?